YouTube, what's good, guys? It's your boy TD. I'm back again with another video from Fantasy Good Sports. And today's video, guys, is going to be on your top 5 quarterbacks going into your 2021 fantasy football season. Yes, I said it. Your top 5 quarterbacks going into your 2021 fantasy football season. So, guys, I'm going to hand it over to my boy Mac and let him go first.
All right. So, look, my top 5 is kind of prototypical in a sense right now of, everybody's probably list that everybody's thinking about. But my number 5 guy, this is a guy that, depending upon if he moves or goes somewhere else, he could slide up to number 1, just like that. And that's Russell Wilson. So,
Russell, last name Wilson.
Yep. Sierra is cooking some good stuff. I don't know what's going on, but Russell's, his mind's all over the place. But hey, so here's the thing: if he goes to the Cowboys, your boys, I think he shoots the number 1. And so the caveat to that is because they could potentially want Zeke and trade some picks, and I don't have a problem with that because I think Tony Pollard is ready, and he would fit exceptionally well with Russell. Russell is a mobile quarterback. He's a dual threat. But with those weapons that he has, not saying he don't have any in Seattle, but you got Amari, CeeDee Lamb, who's a stud.
Don't be mentioning my guys, bro.
Hey, I feel icky doing it because me being a Steelers fan. But I'm, for fantasy wise, and then Tony Pollard, and Michael Gallup, but Tony Pollard, oh man, he's a star in the making. It's something about I don't know if it's something in the water down at Memphis, man. When you got all those players, Pollard, Gibson, who was it? Henderson.
It might be the tennis. It might be the whiskey, man.
It may be a barbecue or something. I don't know. But yo, so my thing is, I got him in number 5 now. But if he goes somewhere like the Cowboys, I think he'll shoot up to number 1 because of the potential weapons that he has, and I just think that'll be a great landing spot. Number 4, Josh Allen. Only reason I don't have him a little bit higher than that because of some of the other guys that I have, above him. But Josh Allen, his floor is top 3. I got him at 4 because some of the other guys that I like it's a tad bit better. But the weapons that he have now, Stephon Diggs, Beasley, Smoke, man, what else can you ask for? And they give him carte blanche to do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he runs a lot of plays. I mean, of course, they got a lot of good play calling there, McDermott and them. But Josh Allen, man, he's starting to grow into that tier 1 quarterback mentally. You see a lot of his mistakes are starting to dwindle down. So he's not making a lot of mental mistakes. And then we all know what his physical attributes are. So I love him at number 4. Number 3, I got Pat Mahomes. A lot of people are going to be like, what? Yeah, I got Pat Mahomes at number 3. It's multiple reasons, but I'm not going to go into too much of it right now. But for me, Pat Mahomes, I think you mentioned this on another video, a lot of the defenses are starting to assimilate and see, and they're going to, really duplicate what Pat Bowles did. Todd Bowles did. We're going to see that. Probably in the first beginning stages of the season, we'll see that as an effect, and I think that's going to affect his numbers. He's still going to finish in the top 3 easily, barring injury. But Pat, I think he's going to see a little bit of a dip. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. I love me some Lamar Jackson. I've been on Lamar Jackson for years. I was one of the first ones that was on Lamar actually coming in. I remember 2 years ago, man, I picked him. Nobody else even picked him. I went to my championship with Lamar Jackson because, like I said, didn't nobody see really what he was then. They just thought he was a gadget, running quarterback, which he's way more than that. If they can get him a number 1 receiver, he can teeter-totter between 1 and 2.
I agree with that.
Lamar Jackson, my number 2. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Me and you had a conversation. I think you remember this when we talked about it. And I mentioned about Aaron this past year in 2020, and I think he's going to duplicate the numbers. That's a floor. His ceiling could be phenomenal if they introduce and put A.J. Dillon into the role that they should, kind of like they did Eddie Lacy back in the day. Aaron Rodgers is going to, man, it's going to be ridiculous. And if they can fool around and get, Tanya, I love him as a secondary type receiver, but if they can get somebody else maybe in the draft or out of free agency to kind of take a little bit of pressure from Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers' numbers are going to be stupid. So Aaron Rodgers is my number one guy.
Okay. I like that list, man. Like you said, it's kind of prototypical, and it's kind of, you got to get prototypical when you get with the quarterbacks. But I think mine's a little bit more cutting edge than yours. I'm not saying more accurate, but a little bit more cutting edge.
Okay.
And this number 5 guy that I'm about to say off, I actually like him, and I'm gonna try to get him in a lot of my drafts. But it's Justin Herbert.
Okay. All right.
And I like to team him up with Keenan Allen as my number 1 receiver this year. And I believe Justin Herbert is a hybrid. I said what I said. Guys, this guy is phenomenal. He is fast. He actually might be just as fast as Josh Allen. I'm not saying a better athlete,
right,
but the arm strength and all that. He could be Josh Allen, but he's better in the pocket and the better thrower than Josh Allen. I said what I said. So I love Justin Herbert. He could be the best quarterback in the league this year. I said what I said. Justin Herbert could be the best quarterback in the league this year. So I love Justin Herbert, guys. He's phenomenal. This guy's probably might be one of the most talented quarterbacks that I ever seen. And I missed him coming out of college. I know he was athletic, but I didn't know that his pocket presence is phenomenal. Like he's aware, he knows where the pressure's coming from. I think he had the best rookie season that I ever seen from a quarterback. Now I know I didn't see Dan Marino play, and I know Dak had a good year because he played with a great Cowboys team. But Justin Herbert, what he did with that type of offensive line was phenomenal. So let me move on. My number 4 guy is, I believe that he might be the best quarterback as in right now and even last year, is Deshaun Watson. And I said what I said. No matter where he go, guys, you follow. Unless he goes to a place where he has no more weapons, then yeah, that's one thing. But this guy's dynamic and he's better than Mahomes. And the reason why I'm saying he's better than Mahomes is because, guys, he's always kind of had like less talent and better, and at least he didn't have as good as offensive coordinators around him, but he still played phenomenal. Imagine if he played with Andy Reid. I believe that if you put Deshaun Watson, you flip him, that his numbers is just as good or even better than Pat Mahomes because he's a little bit faster, he's a little bit better athlete than Pat Mahomes.
Right.
So guys, I'm gonna get on to my number 3 guy. My number 3 guy is Josh Allen. And like he said, I love Josh Allen. His OC did a great job with him last year, and his development is elite. That's one of the most elite developments that I ever seen in my life, as far as a quarterback to come out, throwing the ball in the stands, throwing it in the dirt, and then he come out next year and has like almost close to a 70% completion percentage. It's phenomenal. Dual threat, and his arm is probably the strongest in the league, guys. So this guy, he can back up, and then make a throw that any other quarterback would have been like, I got to throw it out of bounds. So Josh Allen is incredible, and he's like a Cam Newton. Yes, I said what I said. This guy can have 20 carries a game if they wanted to, but you're not going to do that to him because that's you risking injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. So let me get on to my number 2, and I got to give me and him agree on this. It's Lamar Jackson. I said what I said. I think Lamar Jackson is phenomenal, and I think you need to go pick these quarterbacks up, guys, if you can, around the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Now, first, only it depends on if how you drafting. You can wait because it's 5 of these guys, so you don't have to be the first one in these pool. Because all these guys can be around 30, 40 points a game. I said what I said. All these guys can be around 30, 40 points. So you really don't got to get these guys in the first round. But I love Lamar Jackson. He's basically, this is what Lamar Jackson is. You know, everybody's talking about taking a running back. That's why I believe you can take Lamar Jackson in the first round because he is a running back. Guys, he hit 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons. So you getting that type of carries and that type of exposure from the running backs and then points, and then you also getting those throwing touchdowns, that's putting your 30, 40 points easy. So my number 1 quarterback, guys, is Kyler Murray. And the reason why I'm putting Kyler Murray as my number 1 quarterback is because of Cliff Kingsbury and that offense. Running a shotgun every time like the way he does, guys, most of the time is 95% of the plays got to go through Kyler Murray, and that's more points for him. So I got a couple games where Kyler Murray, guys, he only threw for 1 touchdown and 1 pick, and he still had 28 points. It's because the offense is running through him. So Kyler Murray is always going to get points even when he have bad games. So this is the best quarterback to get, guys, when the scoring format has to go through him. So, these other quarterbacks, like Lamar Jackson, what if J.K. Dobbins gets 3 touchdowns and they give it, and then Lamar doesn't run it in? Then he's 20 points, 19 points, even though they won the game and they blew him out. Kyler Murray with a blowout was going to have 30, 40 points because the offense goes through him. He's in the shotgun. Look at college. Look at the college systems. Look when you go and play FanDuel or DraftKings, look at the scoring system from the college quarterbacks. Those college quarterbacks usually have 50 points a game because just the offense is shotgun. I'm running to the sideline. And that's what Kyler Murray is doing, and that's why they hired Cliff Kingsbury. So I believe Kyler Murray should be your number one quarterback that you should take. If you picking up a quarterback and you want to take him first, Kyler Murray should be that quarterback.
I mean, I can't really rebuttal too much of that. I kind of echo and agree with a lot of, of those guys. Only one I'm kind of leery about is Kyler. Different reasons. One of the main reasons I think they need a little bit more firepower. Nuke is who he is. He's an exceptional wide receiver, top tier. Even though he didn't make my top 5, but he is still top 10 easy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. So you got certain quarterbacks that fit in that mold, like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Drew Brees, all these guys who are kind of built the same, have the same type of attributes. And even though, like I said, I do agree with Kingsbury's offense, how it accentuates what Kyler does. I just don't put him in that same top tier level yet. To me, he hadn't shown it to me. But I'm not saying that you're not off with that, but it's just be very hard for me to put him above Aaron Rodgers or even Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes. I'd take all three of those before I would Kyler.
But see, you focusing on the player. The offensive, the way it's running, he's going to outscore these guys. He did it for a while. Until he hurt his shoulder, he was probably going to be on the number one quarterback scoring. He was having 30, 40 points like 4 games in a row, and then he hurt his shoulder, then he took a dip, and it would score like 14-10.
Right.
And so it took him down.
Right.
But Kyler Murray was beasting, but if he doesn't get hurt, he finishes as the number one quarterback.
Right.
And some of his games wasn't as good as Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers threw for 4 touchdowns, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't scoring 40 points with those 4 touchdowns.
But that's what I'm saying, by him getting hurt, because he's putting himself in harm's way more than these other guys. And he's not built. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fair point.
That's my whole thing.
Okay.
And again, like I said, it's not taking it away from his talent, but if they're going to use him in that role, you're going to be subject to him missing games in the latter part of the season or early on, just depending on when the injury comes. And it's going to come if they keep using him and putting him in harm's way like that. That's why they had to dial back Josh Allen a little bit, even though Josh Allen is bigger than Kyler. But they had to dial him back a little bit. And they're going to have to do that to Lamar. Lamar is just so special. You can still give him that carte blanche where he can do those type of things. Because, man, we've never seen a talent like Lamar.
I agree with that.
People want to talk about Michael Vick, and I give him all the kudos and respect. Even going back to my day, like Randall Cunningham, guys like that. I've never seen nobody like a Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a next level talent. He's a video game in real life.
I agree with that.
So you can give him those type of carries, and I don't even want to say put him in harm's way because he's so quick and elusive. Can't nobody really stick with him. I can't even name a DB or even a linebacker that can even cover him one-on-one. So that's my only thing with Kyler Murray. But
I didn't have Pat Mahomes in my top 5. And I didn't have Aaron Rodgers. And the reason why, man, defense adjust. I like Aaron Rodgers, man. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He's a great quarterback. But I'm talking about fantasy. And I need big time points. I need all the points I can get. And I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to rush for 3 touchdowns in a game and then throw for 2. And I need that type. I believe Justin Herbert can do that, even though he's a pocket quarterback.
Right.
So Pat Mahomes, I believe they're going to have to show me that they can go. It's like I said, the repeat of the Super Bowl is what defense is going to do. And I believe that's going to take Pat Mahomes' numbers down. So what they're going to do to try to probably counter that is run the ball more between the tackles.
Yes.
And that's going to take away Pat Mahomes' numbers, but that's going to give maybe more wins for Kansas City in big games.
Right.
So that's less points for Pat. So he ain't chucking around for 50 points. That's still fine. They're not playing for fantasy. So you have to choose the offensive coordinator that's kind of playing for fantasy.
True.
And with from each year to year, that's different. So the fantasy quarterback to me, now I'm not saying the MVP or the most efficient or anything, it's Kyler Murray.
Right.
Because he's playing behind. His defense is not that good, and the offense No matter if they are up 5 touchdowns or below 5 touchdowns, Kyler Murray has to put the ball in his hands and get points. So that's the difference. So imagine when Aaron Rodgers is up 3 touchdowns and you picked him, and he got like 19 points going into the third quarter, and they beat the team by 17 points. That's an A.J. Dillon day.
Oh, yeah.
And you like, man, I got beat, but they won, and you mad.
Right.
But then I got a guy that's ain't as good, and he ain't in MVP conversations, but he scored 35 points through 2 picks too.
Right.
But he still outscored your quarterback. So that's what it's about. So that's why I got Kyler Murray as my number 1, and I got Pat Mahomes and some of these guys out of there because I'm just looking for the offensive coordinator to have that's going to be passing the ball a lot, playing through a system through the quarterback. And that's Josh Allen, and that's Deshaun Watson, that's Lamar Jackson. Those guys aren't the most talented Hall of Fame guys, but they are for 30 points, 40 points fantasy players.
I agree with that.
So guys, thank you for tuning in to this video. Thank you for watching my top quarterback list, guys. And also, guys, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel because I'm going to keep giving you cutting edge videos, guys. And also, guys, be watching out for my Patreon because I got a lot of content coming, guys. So, Mac, I'd like to thank my homeboy, Mac, for coming today. And, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Peace.